Hello friends and welcome to the future. This week on Heat Vision Breakdown, we look ahead at the new year by examining the 2019 most interesting stories to watch for in Hollywood and beyond.
Yeah, that's way too many stories.
Okay, well what if we do like 20 19-minute videos?
Just do the top 10 stories like a normal person.
Okay, fine, jeez. Here are the top 9 stories to watch out for this year.
Oh my god.
Let's start off with the obvious and immediately destroy any shot at a chronological list here by looking at number 9, Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. So far, only very brief snippets of the Oscar-nominated actor's take on the clown prince of crime have been showcased, but given the actor's reputation and resume, it's fair to say that interest is very high for what he will do with the character. The Jokers are no small clown shoes to step into either. There have been 3 Academy Award-winning actors to don the white makeup on film already, and 2 of them did a great job. The big question is, however, can a Joker film work without Batman? Well, seeing as how the last 2 Batman films turned out, it's probably worth a shot to go Wayne-less for this one. Number 8, who will play Shang-Chi? Marvel Studios is looking to find an Asian director and Asian lead for a movie about Shang-Chi, which will be the studio's first Asian superhero. As Marvel continues to focus on representation, fans are already hailing this as having the potential to be the next Black Panther. What's just as interesting to think about is how a film like this could propel a filmmaker to becoming the next Ryan Coogler. It's hard to beat the MCU when it comes to exposure from an up-and-coming auteur. And as for who plays the lead, even Aquaman director James Wan is invested, telling Heat Vision earlier this month the film needs a strong Asian male lead. "I can't think of one for the life of me," he said. "The last person I can think of is Bruce Lee, and God, that is so sad. Bruce Lee is my father's generation. It's great, it's about time." Number 7, who will play Batgirl? This has to be the highest profile superhero that's due for casting expected in 2019. And there's an obvious choice, Haley Steinfeld. Batgirl screenwriter Christina Hodson already teamed with Steinfeld for Bumblebee, a film that against all odds for a Transformers movie earned glowing reviews. Incidentally, it is the only Transformers film with a fresh Rotten Tomatoes score, which should surprise literally nobody. Keep in mind, there's no director yet set for a Batgirl standalone, which will focus on the Barbara Gordon version of the character. But Hodson is also penning Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn spin-off, and the most obnoxious title for a movie since Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. That's due out February 7th, 2020. Could Barbara Gordon make an appearance in that film? If so, perhaps Barbara's casting will come out next year. Number 6. Can Episode 9 save Star Wars? No. Next. All right, I'll talk about it, jeez. It's hard to believe that a franchise as big as Star Wars could ever be considered in bad shape. But following the underperformance of Solo last summer and the, let's say, mixed reaction to The Last Jedi, Episode 9 doesn't seem to have as much buzz as one would expect for the final entry in a new Star Wars trilogy. J.J. Abrams is once again taking the helm, and while he may be a safe choice, it's hard to see how he can satisfyingly wrap up a saga that hasn't really felt like it was planned out at all since its inception. Rey is already a Jedi Master, Poe has questionable decision-making skills, Finn has already beaten Phasma, again, and the villains are either incompetent, dead, a whiny flip-flopper, or apparently completely insignificant. You know, most Snoke theories might have sucked, but at least they actually did something with the character, Rian Johnson. On the plus side, at least we get to bid a fond farewell to fan-favorite characters like Luke and Leia on the big screen for the last time. Disney's Bob Iger has hinted that there will be a slowdown when it comes to future Star Wars movies, and that's wise. With The Mandalorian and a Rogue One prequel set to debut on the upcoming Disney Plus streaming service, high-quality live-action shows may just be the new way to get a Star Wars fix. Maybe JJ is not our only hope. At least they can't kill Luke and Han again. Number 5. What's the next Christopher Nolan movie? There have been no rumblings of what Nolan will do next following 2017's Dunkirk, and that just means no one's looking closely enough. Exhibit A. News Nolan signed on to direct Interstellar broke January 9th, 2013, less than 6 months after The Dark Knight Rises opened. Exhibit B. News of Dunkirk came on December 28th, 2015, a full 14 months after Interstellar opened. What does it mean? I don't know. All I know is we are now more than a year since Dunkirk's opening. We've got nothing. It's time to give us something, please. Also, bonus points if you reteam with Christian Bale. He's great. In all seriousness, what's left for Nolan to tackle? He won't be doing the next James Bond, no matter how much we hope. He's done sci-fi and a war epic since leaving the DC universe. In an age of micro-budget horror making a huge splash at the box office, is it time for Nolan to show us what a $100 million horror epic would look like? Kubrick was 51 when he made The Shining. Nolan is almost the same age now. Coincidence? Number 4. Will we get release dates for games like Cyberpunk 2077, Death Stranding, and The Last of Us Part 2? 2018 was a big year for games. We got to be Spider-Men, Greek gods, and cowboys. Yeehaw! 2019, however, may just give it a run for its money, particularly if marquee anticipated titles like CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077, Hideo Kojima's bat-crazy Death Stranding, and Depressapalooza The Last of Us Part 2 all drop. Hell, even if one of those games comes this year and lives up to the hype, 2019 is shaping up to be another banner year for video games. Unlike movies, release dates for games can be announced at any time and are often much bigger reveals. Vague windows for when a game will launch are common and often get pushed back and back. That said, for games like Cyberpunk and Death Stranding, we've already seen quite a bit of gameplay footage over the past year, which could possibly be a hint that they're coming sooner than we might think. Hopefully. I want that Retus fetus. Number 3. What's the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? After Avengers Endgame, it's time for the MCU to reinvent itself. 2019 should give us hints of what's to come, most notably with Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox opening the X-Men and Fantastic Four to potentially be folded into the MCU. The chances are basically zero we'll see any end credit reveals of these characters in this year's Endgame, Captain Marvel, or Spider-Man Far From Home, as these films have A, wrapped, and B, it's unclear when the Fox-Disney deal will actually finalize and make such a thing possible. Yay, arbitration! So what could we get next year? Marvel will likely begin hiring writers or even directors to develop films surrounding these characters. Perhaps we'll even get some casting news. Imagine the frenzy when we learn there will be a new Professor X or Magneto, because no, don't expect Kevin Feige to bring James McAvoy or Michael Fassbender and their convoluted timelines over to the MCU. The big thing to watch for will be Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin are attached to an X-Force team-up movie from director Drew Goddard. However, that project has been left up in the air in light of the merger. But if any actor can survive the move from Fox to Disney, it's Ryan Reynolds. Not only is he by far the most popular X-person star, the meta nature of his character could make sense to exist at Disney, even if his character never interacts with the mainstream MCU. His movies could be set in some sort of strange, alternate continuity, similar to how they exist outside the main X-Men world. Maybe we can even work Pikachu in there somewhere.
In my head, I saw that differently.
Number 2, can Jordan Peele live up to Get Out with Us? He earned an Oscar and 2 additional nominations for his directorial debut, so it's no surprise that Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out will be one of the most closely watched films of the year. As the first trailer for the secretive film revealed, it centers on a family plagued by evil doppelganger versions of themselves, because sometimes we are our own worst enemy. As the trailer makes clear, Peele is on the verge of becoming a definitive filmmaking voice, like a Nolan or a Tarantino or a Spike Lee. A director with a signature style that, even when working with the different subject matter, imbues that special something into even a trailer that makes it instantly recognizable as a Jordan Peele movie. Number 1. Winter has finally come! In spring. Actually, I mean, it's already been here, but now it's here even more as HBO launches its last season of the mega hit fantasy series. While the writing for the show has suffered significantly since it moved past the source material of George R.R. Martin's novels, I refer you to this diagram to illustrate my point, there is no doubt that fans worldwide are invested to see how the fate of Westeros ultimately plays out. Will Jon Snow marry his aunt? Will Jaime Lannister kill his sister/lover? Man, shows a lot of incest. Will Tyrion ride a dragon? How much older will the actor who plays Bran look? All these questions pale in comparison to the ultimate mystery behind this 8-season epic. Is the Night King even really a bad guy? I mean, honestly, Westeros is full of terrible, terrible people. I'm kind of rooting for the dude who literally tore down a wall. Is that Spyro?
It's a dragon.
Oh. Of course, even with Game of Thrones coming to an end, the world of Westeros will still continue, as HBO has already ordered a prequel pilot from producer Jane Goldman and Martin, set 1,000 years before the events of the main series, with even more spin-offs planned for the future. Maybe one of them will explain why a civilization that figured out how to conquer dragons still hasn't mastered the art of indoor plumbing. Well, you've heard what we're excited for, but what are you most looking forward to in 2019? Let us know in the comments right down there. Don't forget to subscribe and come back here every Friday morning for new episodes of Heat Vision Breakdown. We spent all our budget on that Spyro thing.